What's up, everybody? Welcome to another week of Q&A. I'm Steven, as you all know. What's up, Modern Vintage? How's it going, dude? Carl, good to see you. L7 Q&A says, tell us about next archetype this instant, or else. Nah, not gonna. I like my job too much. It's just not gonna happen. Love you, but nah. Luis Fernando Garcia. Forgot to turn off loop in my Pro Tools session. Oh, Connor, what's up, dude? Good to see you. So Luis Garcia says, tuner for every plugin? That's his question. And yes, the tuner will be added to every plugin. I think the Plini and the Nolly are going to be updated in the next few weeks. I don't know exactly when, but it's going to be pretty soon. So yes, we're all the tuners are going to have a plugin very soon. Yeah, so how's everybody week been going? Everybody's probably getting ready for the holidays coming up. I know I am. I'm probably going to be going up to visit family. So I'm really excited about that. So how is everybody else doing? How's your holiday week starting out? Let's see. All right. So what did you guys think of the Karnivool tracks and the presets? Did you guys get a chance to take a look at those? I know they got downloaded pretty, probably not as much as the Gojira tracks, but I was pretty stoked to see the popularity of that. Karnivool's one of my favorite bands right now, so yeah, I've been really digging them a lot. So Modern Vintage asks, Steve, have you used the built-in tuner even once? Still use my Peterson, haha. So I think I've showed my setup the other day. I actually have like a dedicated line out from my interface that goes straight to my Peterson tuner. So I just have to plug in to my instrument, and then it's just tuning automatically. So like I don't think I've ever I've used the plugin a couple of times, plugin tuner a couple of times, but it's really just easy because I have it just set up, like it's there. Like if I took my laptop elsewhere, like and I didn't have my Peterson, I would use it like constantly because it's so much more convenient than not having one altogether. But yeah, so okay. Modern Vintage says he's getting a lot of playing and NAMM planning in. Nice. Yeah, NAMM's gonna be a lot of fun. If you guys are going to the NAMM show, I'm definitely gonna be there. I'll be at the Neural DSP booth, so drop by and say what's up. Modern Vintage also says that Karnivool was a great choice. Same here regarding faves. Yeah, no, I got into them earlier this year, and I'm pretty sure they were like either one or two in my Spotify most played band, because I've listened to them a lot this year. Dark Scar says, waiting for holidays so I can test the neural amps I bought on Black Friday. Thank you for your presets because they are going to be very useful to test the plugins. It's my pleasure, man. Like I think that there's definitely like I have a lot of fun with these plugins. I have a ton of fun with these plugins, but there are definitely aspects of these plugins that can be overlooked if you're just looking at it and you kind of just like, okay, well this does this does that. But there's a couple of like little hidden gems in there. So if you like, my mindset when taking apart like presets is to kind of like break myself out of my own thinking, my own box, like getting the Plini presets or getting what was his name? There's the producer that works with Plini, the bass player, Simon Grove. Simon Grove uploaded his own presets as well, and it's really cool to see like somebody else's approach to the same interface. It's kind of cool. So I use presets as like a starting point, and then also to get behind the mindset of somebody else really helps. Because then it could kind of show you options that you may not have thought of to begin with. So I'm glad you're digging the presets. Yeah, let me know how those turn out for you. Um, yeah, Goonza says, can't wait to see what John will do on Karnivool's upcoming album with the new tools available. Yeah, dude, it's gonna be fucking awesome. I'm so stoked on Karnivool. Um, Carl says, don't know Karnivool well, but video is great. Awesome. I'm glad you dig it, man. I kind of did it also. I did that specific band because I also just kind of want to bring more attention to them because I think they're amazing. And I think that they're well worth paying attention to. So yeah, I'm glad you dig it. Do. Ooh, Modern Rigid says, for future videos, I was thinking Sixth, Cracks of Light, Vivid, etc. are good tracks. Yeah. Sixth is awesome. I don't know their track naming super well, but like I really, really dig them a lot. Um, uh, Phylin Metal? Phylin Metal. I'm sorry. He says he has a question about the gate. How is the signal flow? Does it work like a Zool or a cock blocker? Are you talking about just the gate that is in all of the plugins, or the ones with the actual Zool in it? Um, I'm not sure exactly. I don't. Yeah, I don't know exactly what that is modeled after. Um, I know that the new updates bring the Zool closer to the actual physical model. Um, but I'm not sure what they're using for the regular gate. I just haven't asked. I haven't really needed to ask. Like I just I have a tool, I use it, and then I know what it's when it's good. I know when it's not good. Um, and the tool has always been good, so I haven't really had much of an idea on that. Connor asks, when using parallax on a friend setup in Logic, every time we turn it on, we get constant loud static, ear-piercing high frequencies that instantly send the channel clipping and make it not usable. Any idea what may be causing it? None. I have no idea. That is probably something that you want to email support at Neural DSP about. Sorry, man. Yeah, no, I wish I could do some more troubleshooting for you. But I've not run into that problem myself. Being a Pro Tools and a Cubase user, I've not gotten into Logic whatsoever. Hmm. Interesting. Does it continue to do the loud static and high frequencies even when you have like everything like turned off inside the plugin? Um, yeah, kind of just, fiddle around with the stuff and see if there's a particular thing that you can point to that's causing it. And then because the more information that you can gather before hitting up support, the quicker they can solve your problems. So, yeah. Yeah, no need to apologize, Connor. It's all good. All right. So, Michael D, what's up, my dude? Modern Venture says, Steve, you're the OG of all OGs. Thanks for answering all the questions I've asked. I appreciate it week after week. Truly wish you and yours the best, especially this time of year. Thank you, man. I really appreciate it. No, happy holidays, and I wish the best for you guys as well, especially you, Modern Vintage. Like, you've been here week after week, and I appreciate your company, and I love that you're, hanging out and like keeping me company. Like, I've mentioned it on previous streams before. Like, this is probably one of my favorite aspects of my job, is just to be able to like actually connect with you guys and enjoy good conversation. So no, I appreciate you saying that. Let's see. Okay, so Phylin Metal says the gate of all the plugins. He was clarifying my previous question. So the intro gate for all the plugins, does it take the input signal as a trigger for the gate to open? I believe it does. I'm not 100% sure, but I think that might be a question to ask either Francisco or Doug when they come on the Q&A next. But I'll keep that in mind and make sure that it gets answered later on. Yeah. All right. Let's see what else we got. Oh, interesting. So Michael D says he's not up to nothing much, but he's just finished his latest case study of mysterious musician deaths. That's really interesting. Is there a particular theme or anything that's like linking them all together aside from potentially drugs? I don't know. I'm curious what your premise and what your conclusion are. Awesome. So yeah, so I should probably ask. I mean, if you guys, I mean, like if you guys have probably seen the formula now at this point is that I've been doing I do the videos on Friday and then I do follow up Q&A on Wednesdays. Which have been like sometimes follow up, depends on if people have questions about it. But if you guys have questions about the Karnivool, about the mix, about the tones or anything like that, be sure to ask that today. Let me know, and I'll address it. Lear, what's up, dude? How's it going? Good to see you hanging out, man. Modern Vintage says, dude, I couldn't believe this. Robert Baker was live on Instagram last night, started to play RHCP licks, and got kicked off Instagram Live and copyright notice before. That's hilarious. Okay, yeah. Before going back live, all in real time. Interesting. So, yeah, like the copyright striking and like copyright notices are definitely becoming more and more like I don't know. It's I mean, obviously I'm one person and I can't really say that I have much influence in that sphere. I mean, thankfully most like thankfully everything that I've been putting up on the YouTube page has all been either original or cleared for use. Some of it has been copyright like not copyright strikes, but we get copyright notices like the Alice in Chains video won't be monetized. I mean, we don't monetize our videos anyway, but like we got the notice saying that all the AdSense revenue from that video is now going to that artist. So like I don't know. I'm kind of like yeah, protect the artists, but also like how how hmm, how aggressive are these algorithms supposed to actually be? What's the healthy balance between the two? And I don't particularly know if I have the answer to that actually. It's an interesting thing to watch though because you see so many people with their livelihoods being affected by this. You have like streamers streaming their own music, and then it gets copyright strikes, and it's like, well, I'm the owner of this music, so obviously I gave myself permission, but this algorithm isn't smart enough. And then you get the effect that you have to now go a couple of days without the AdSense revenue while your case is being overviewed by, real people. And it's I don't know. It's interesting. As far as how it affects us though, is it hasn't so far. The YouTube and social media aspect of Neural DSP has so far been like fairly stable as far as like any like as far as anything goes. Really, I think there's not really been any issues with copyright infringement at all. It hasn't affected us, but that's because we're not relying on YouTube or social media as our own, as I mean, like as a secondary revenue. I don't know, but we're not relying on YouTube as our primary source of income, right? I guess. Hopefully that makes sense. I don't know. I kind of rambled a little bit, so. Okay, so Michael D follows up with his research paper, case study, saying just deaths with so many unusual circumstances. He covered the deaths of Robert Johnson, Michael Hutchins, and Inks, Philip Taylor Kramer, and Iron Butterfly. Interesting, cool, yeah. No, I appreciate that. Modern Vintage says, that's why he wanted to give us a heads up. about the copyright stuff. Can't chance a suit or deplatform. Yeah, no, I appreciate that. I do. I definitely do. Because yeah, I sometimes am not like completely up on current affairs. Like with my schedule the way that it is, it's like I have to constantly be working on the content that I'm producing, and it's very you know it's very time consuming. So I don't really get on up on that kind of stuff all the time. So yeah, no, I appreciate you letting us know. John McDaniel says, "Hey Stephen, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year." Thanks, man. To you too. Still being blown away by Pliny, Nolly, and Abasi. Also loved your guitar work on the Abasi video you did. Nice playing, man. Thank you. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate it. That one was a lot of fun. Okay, so I got a video coming out this Friday that I'm actually like even more stoked on. I actually got some additional people to work on this video with me. So some post production and maybe some guitar work and stuff like that. So yeah, definitely. I'm so stoked. I hope you guys like it though, you know. So yeah, so was it today's Wednesday? Yeah, of course today's Wednesday. Yeah, so Friday there's gonna be a video coming out and I'm like super stoked on it. I feel like it's probably been one of my best productions so far, as well as like one of my best mixes. So I'm really, really excited for you guys to hear it. So Michael D says, the copyright strike craze is why I'm apprehensive about releasing my cover of Trans-Siberian Orchestra's Christmas Eve Sarajevo 1224 this year. I can definitely understand your apprehension about that. You got to ask yourself what the purpose of your release is, because if you're releasing it to monetize it, transformative work should be fine under fair use. Like I think that if you're in the U.S., that should be considered transformative work. It should be fine to upload. You might get a copyright notice saying that you can't monetize the video, but they may not strike it immediately. And of course, what I would suggest doing is upload the audio to YouTube and keep it as unlisted first. So that way the YouTube algorithm has time to go over it. Because you'll get the notice before you release it. Like there wouldn't be anything worse than like trying to upload the video and release it on the same day and then find out, oh, I can't monetize this or anything like that. So upload it a couple of days prior, you know, when you're happy with it, when you're happy with the way it sounds, you know, the video, whatever. And then see if you get any emails about copyright infringement, because they'll email you first before striking you. Like, because I used a couple of Alice in Chains songs, like directly ripped from like YouTube, because you know I didn't have time to go and buy it, but like, you know, I ripped it from YouTube and I was like, okay, I'm just gonna just use like these like 5-second clips here or there, and then yeah, and then we got a notice. We didn't get it taken down though. We just got a notice saying that, you know, you don't own the copyright, so we're sending the AdSense to the people who do own the copyright. So you may be fine. I would definitely just advise uploading it first and making sure that YouTube is cool with it. That's it. Modern Vintage says, Neural DSP. Once again, Neural DSP over JRE for me. I appreciate that, man. Especially like knowing how popular Joe Rogan is. Like, I appreciate you coming and hanging out and, you know, being a part of the show we got. You know, like this is, like I said, this is a lot of fun for me. Getting to like talk to you guys and hang out for like an hour plus, you know, it's been pretty sweet. Modern Vintage says, please take my money in exchange for anything you guys may have planned next week. Yeah. I don't know exactly what we have planned next week. I haven't really checked in with the guys. It's funny how like independent like my part of Neural DSP is from the rest. Like I get you know, we have meetings like on you know, we have like weekly meetings, and you know, I get filled on like what's kind of going on, but like, you know, I don't know about any sales or anything like that coming up, but like I do know that there are some things coming up soon that you guys are gonna fucking love. Yeah. Michael D. Yeah. So Michael D says, thanks for the tip, Steven. I wouldn't have known that. Yeah. Nah, I feel it, dude. Like, I mean, here's the, when it comes to uploading videos, um, I feel like it's always better to ask forgiveness than permission. Um, and I'm also not afraid to just try and test the boundaries. Because what's the worst that can happen, really? It's like, okay, well, I put it up on YouTube, I get a copyright strike. Like, I think you actually have to have a couple of copyright strikes in order for it to like affect your channel. Um, but there's still an appeal system. That's why I would go in like before you want to release it and really make sure that it's going to work on the YouTube platform beforehand. Um, I'll keep digging says I just paused JRE to watch this also. Thanks, man. I appreciate you coming by and hanging out with me. This is really cool. Phylon Metal says keyboards question mark. Opeth question mark. I don't know if you're referring to the artist videos or not. We don't have anything planned for Opeth or keyboards, but Opeth is definitely a band that I want to, I really 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 want to dial in some of their tones because they have, I don't know, like as far as like production and overall guitar, bass, drum tone, like it's stellar. Always super stellar. Like even if you don't like some of the earlier stuff or like you like the heavy stuff and not the clean stuff, like it's always like pretty pristine and lifelike. That's one of the things I like about their music so much is and their mix and production is always so organic. Cool. Modern Vintage says I really want to see content from Finland. Me too, man. Me too. Um Hopefully this next year will be the year that I take some trips out to Finland. I would love to be out there. I'd love to spend more time with them, as well as bring you guys some more interesting content from abroad. Because I feel like um, there's a lot of cool stuff going on behind the scenes at Neural DSP that I want to kind of bring you guys, bring to your guys' attention. Israel asks MIDI update to Nolly. Yes, in a couple of weeks. I don't have a delivery date yet. That's something that they are still working on currently. But I have been told that it's been gonna be soon. So yeah, very very soon. Um, because currently Nolly does have MIDI capabilities, but they don't have this. It doesn't have the same MIDI capabilities as the current version of Abasi and Nameless and Dark Glass. So like you can't choose like a preset to be set to a specific button. Not just yet. So yeah, that'll be coming out in a couple of weeks. Lear asks, did anyone check out the new Isan track Stridig? I have not actually. I don't know. I'm gonna bring that up and make sure that I check it out after the stream. So because I like listening to new music. There it is. Great. I'll check it out after the stream and let you know. Michael D says Finland, land of two of my favorite bands, Children of Bodom and him, HIM. Awesome, man. Yeah, I actually saw Children of Bodom. God, when was that? That was like 2007, 8, maybe. I don't even remember. Probably because I got in a car accident that day, but well, it happens. I had tickets to go see them play in Sacramento, where I was living at the time, and my car got totaled that day, but I still had the tickets and I bought them, so I was gonna go out and see them. So, yeah, that's the thing that happened. Oh, cool. So, let's see. So I'm gonna be putting together some more videos soon. And what I plan on doing is addressing some of your guys's any like issues with the plugins. So you're talking about like latency. Is there an an aspect to these plugins like setup or latency or buffer or mixing or whatever like that that you guys are having trouble with or want me to clarify in a specific video? Because that's something we've been talking about in the back end, because I want to be able to actually help out support as well by putting together some videos that are more explanatory of like, here's why you want to choose the ASIO driver, here's why you want to choose this, you don't want to do this. So if there's something that you guys are having difficulty with, I'm sure most of the people that have been hanging out with this crowd like for the past like several weeks, I'm sure you guys are all pretty good. But if you guys can think of anything, even buffer size or crackling or whatever like that, like, you know, because I want to help you guys out. I want to help out support as well, so that way they have something to just like, you know, toss in like, hey, follow the steps in this video and then you'll be good. Yeah. But let me know. George Kitch asks, any thoughts on some tool bass tones? Okay, so yeah, somebody suggested that I go back and do like, because at first when I was doing the artist tone dial in thing, I was doing just like a guitar tone or two, maybe three, and then comparing it to the original track. Now I've been doing like covers and trying to dial in like an actual mix of the tones, you know, so like I start from the ground up with bass, drums, guitars, and all that kind of stuff. So I actually kind of want to go back and redo some do Tool again, because I did do Adam Jones earlier. But I want to go back and redo Tool, having actually, you know, done a full production on it. So yeah, so that's definitely on the plan, on the docket. But I do want to hit a couple of other artists first before I go back to doing Tool. But no, I love the bass tones from them. You can get some pretty cool bass tones using the parallax. The dark glass is also pretty cool too. But what you should probably do with the parallax, some people been having difficulty getting clean tones with the parallax, and all you really have to do is just back off of the input gain, and then up the output gain to compensate for the level difference, because you still get that nice solid compression from the low end, and then like you get a nice clean modern tone through the mid and high bands. And then from there, you could use one of the either a chorus pedal or one of the reverb pedals with like a super small time on the delay to create some chorusing effects, and that's a pretty good way to pull up some kind of some Tool bass tones. But yeah, that's something I definitely want to dial in for you guys. So yeah, so George, I promise you that I'll do that. Connor asks, have you guys seen any examples of people in bands using neural plugins in a live setting, similar to how people use an amp modeler like Axe Effects through a PA? Yes. Okay. So as far as I know, there are a bunch of people who have been using neural DSP plugins. I know that Gojira is using our bass plugins. I think he's using the Dark Glass right now. And then I know there's a handful of other people. If you check out the artist list on Neural DSP's website, there's a couple of dudes in there that have been using our stuff live. But as far as I know, that I've been confirmed, is Gojira is using our stuff live. So I was like pretty stoked on that, because I fucking love Gojira. Oh yeah, Lear says, it took a while to get into his vocals, as they aren't good, in his opinion, but the music sounds more real compared to other solo albums. And he's talking about Isan. Yeah, man, I like vocals make it or break it for me. Like, I've listened to a little bit of Isan before, and I've been kind of like ho-hum about it. I'll give the thing a shot, you know, because like, well, here's the thing. I actually had a really, really difficult time getting into Decapitated when I first heard them, and that's because I I listened to some of their old stuff, like off of Spheres of Madness, and the old vocalist from Decapitated was one of those dudes that just kind of barked, and like I just wasn't feeling it, man. Like it took me a long time to go from like, like I ended up listening to like some of the newer stuff with the new vocalist, and then working my way backwards just because I was like, okay, I love this band now, and I can kind of like just push past the vocalist, but it's hard to do that for me, and it takes time. But yeah, no, I definitely feel it when like the vocals aren't there. It's really difficult because those are like the focal point of any band. Even if you're like fully instrument or not fully instrument, even if you're more of an instrumental band, like Between the Buried and Me, like the vocals are still like such a huge component of the mix, and it's a focal point. Um, Modern Vintage says, I said it once and I'll say it again that Nolly plugin is so versatile, feels so good and inspiring. Different guitars. Yeah. Yeah, dude. I feel that for sure. I've been really digging the Abasi too. The video that's coming out Friday was done, I think, exclusively with the Abasi. I don't know. I'll I have somebody laying down some guitar stuff, and he's probably gonna get that to me today. So I don't know if he's using the Abasi as well, but everything that I did on the track has all been done with Abasi, even the cello work. Um, Okay, Lear says, I sometimes have problems with the mono stereo switch on the Abasi plugin. When I select stereo, it only plays in the left speaker. It might be my setup or something silly I'm doing wrong. He says, I think this was covered last week. Gosh, yeah, I do vaguely remember talking about that. Somebody might have said the answer. But yeah, hmm. Mono to stereo switch. I don't know. That maybe check in with support on that. I'm not 100% sure. I'll have to check in with them afterwards and be like, "Yo, this is how we do it." But yeah, check in with support at neuraldsp.com and see if they can give you something about that. Um, but that's a good one to figure out. I think it also depends on which DAWs you're using. Modern Vintage says these plugins are so easy to use, navigate, tinker, etc. that it seems just like an iPhone. Barely any need for instructions is needed. Very unlike other plugins, but very much like a real amp. I would definitely agree. I think that it's easy to get a great tone, and there's like really cool little Easter eggs. Um, Really cool little Easter eggs that are built into the plugin, like doing like saturation kind of stuff, like bumping the master volume control all the way up to get like warmer tone. There's a lot of really cool little things. Like it's easy enough for people to just kind of like dip their toes in and get some good tone. And then there's like, the people who are a little bit more OCD about it and really, really want to like, figure out exactly how everything works. That, can satisfy both parties. Let's see. Vishwa says, Merry Christmas, greetings from India. I have to say, I've never been so happy just plugging in my guitar and hearing the tones from Pliny and Nolly. Awesome, man. I'm glad to hear that. Super glad to hear that. Merry Christmas and happy holidays. Greetings. That's really cool. I'm going to guess that you got those from the Black Friday deal, but yeah, I'm super happy that you're enjoying the plugins. Let's see. Yeah. Okay. So Modern Vintage actually brings up an interesting point, and I'm thinking about making a video on this as well. But he says I tried every UA, reverb, delay, etc. this past week. Abasi Comp Clean, the preset, did it for me instantly. Better than every UA plugin. Really sold on not using other reverbs or delays with Neural DSP. Yeah, so I actually really want to get into using delays and reverbs on other aspects of mixing and production that are not just guitars, because I think that Like, this sort of stuff is so, I don't know, it's so versatile. Like, and not just with like guitar and bass tones, but also like, you know, if you want to get some good I brought in the idea of like using a fake room in the Karnivool tracks. Having like a send to go to like the Pliny reverb and delay. But I could use that on vocals, I could use that on drums, and there's so many different aspects to these things. Like I kind of want to do. I was thinking about doing maybe something along the lines of like a, uh, like full production using only neural DSP plugins, because in the neural DSP plugins you do have compressor, you do have EQs, you do have reverbs, you do have delays. So you have like the aspects that you would need to do a full mix with. It would just be about like shuffling around components from the plugins themselves. So I'm kind of curious to see how far I could get in an actual production using those, because I have my go-to plugins for sure. Like I use my like FabFilter Q3, Pro MB. I use the Pawn Shop compressor. I use Smash and Grab. I use L2. Like I use a whole bunch of like these like kind of like mainstays for my mixing. But I'm kind of curious how far I could push myself using only neural DSP plugins. But yeah, that would be really fascinating to do. Anyway, all right. Vishwas asks, I know this is a strange one. Is there any plan making pedal emulation in the future? Oh, are you talking about just like standalone pedals, like reverb, delay, or whatever like that? I know that there's some ideas on doing some more modulation pedals in the future. Right now, what most people are going to be doing is just open up your plugin and then just disengage everything, like right click. All the icons at the top aside from your FX or EQ or whatever section you want to use independently of the plugin, and then just use that. That's generally what most people are going to be doing right now. Like that's what I do. I mix and match components from each plugin just by turning on the specific one that I want and then adding it to my chain and then moving on from there. So yeah, so I don't know about like any pedal emulations currently. But I know that there's like thoughts of bringing in modulation pedals into some of the plugins in the future. So it's on the table, but I'm not sure exactly when that's going to be happening. So I'll Keep Digging has a question. Multiple instances, Nolly, Parallax, Darkglass, seems to drain my CPU. Any recommendations to counter? I've maxed buffer. Freezing tracks seems to be my fix, but still overloading and slowing down the process. He follows up with hell yes to some Tool tones, BTW. Yeah, for sure. So it depends on the settings that you have on your plugin. I mean, like it could be something else, but like we can kind of take it through. Like, so you've already got your buffer maxed out, which is great. It depends on if you're on a PC or a Mac, but sometimes having your like going into your what's it called? Hang on a second. Task manager, that's what it's called. Sometimes going into your task manager and allowing your DAW more priority over the memory could sequester a little bit more to your sessions. That might help. Also, I've used something else you do. I mean, like it would be good to know which DAW you're working on as well. Because some DAWs are a little bit easier to manage than others. But what you could do, and something that I do, is I'll put two mono tracks on like a stereo channel, and then open up a multi-mono instance of a plugin. So like what I would do, actually, I'll just go ahead and let's call this okay, so let's see. So let's say I want to just have BR. Okay, so I have my guitar track right here. And for this particular one, I used Archetype Nolly on one and the Fort Nameless on the other, right? So like I have my two guitars. But let's say I just wanted like the Abasi. I could go to, I don't know if you're on Pro Tools or not, but like what you could do, in Pro Tools, I go to a multi-mono plugin, which means that the left and right channel are being processed individually from each other. So you go multi-mono channel, multi-mono plugin, DSP, Archetype Abasi. So that's actually going to give me these two. Actually, let's do output. Let's see where I'm going. Routing is fun. Mixbus, sure, because that's got my output to you guys, so you can hear what I'm doing. So I can take my two here and then move them to my stereo channel, and then I can have So then I have my two guitars going to a single instance of the Neuro DSP plugins, instead of having two open, which is going to drain your system a little bit more. So that's one way to do it. And there's a couple of other ways. I actually have a video up on the YouTube page. If you want to check that out, it might give you a couple of ideas on how you can, conserve your CPU. But I definitely want to get into more... some more ideas with that. But if it persists even after that, and if you have, especially like if you're talking about like if you have like a pretty good system, you may want to talk to support about it and kind of give them some of the details on what you're facing. So yeah, so that, I mean, there's a couple of ways that you can do this, but oh, Lear. Okay, cool. I got you. I got this covered. I think. Okay, so Lear says, the nameless seems fine though. It happens when I use the plugin by itself without a DAW. I'll keep playing around with it and ask the tech team. I might actually have a solution for you. Let me see what I got going on here. Let's just open up the nameless suite. If you this and nameless, if you go to your audio settings, Windows Audio, yeah, fuck that, Audio. Check to make sure that your input is only one channel, because if you have two channels and you go to a stereo setting, then it's only going to come out one side, I think. Because what you're doing essentially when you're switching from mono to stereo is you're what it is you're not telling the plugin to output to a left and a right. You're telling the plugin that you're going to input from a left and a right. So I would imagine probably something along the lines of like, if you have two guitar players, you can actually do both guitars into it. I'm not 100% sure on that. That's just speculation at this point. But if you do mono to stereo in the standalone, and you have two of these activated, you're not gonna want to do that. So let's go ahead. I'm gonna try this. No, I want to do this. Focusrite USB input 1 and 2. Nope, definitely not that. Let's do input 3. I think input 3. Check. Okay, input 3. Yeah. 44.1. Let's do input 3 and which one is free? Input. We'll do input 8. Okay, so I have like if I have two set up, let me see if this is going to fix your problem. So I don't know if this is going to play for you guys. Oops. Oh, there you are. All right, bear with me, you guys. Okay. So I have input 3 and input 8. So like input 8 doesn't have anything on it. But if there was, for some reason, in your audio settings, 2 channels selected for your input, you switch over to stereo and, oh, let's see. Yep, there you go. Okay, so I don't know if you heard that or not, but basically what happened was I have 2 input signals selected on my Neural DSP plugin. I go to mono, and that switches my input 1 over to my left channel, and then input 8 over to my right. So that's what's happening with your plugin right now. So hopefully that tells you everything you need to know. Moose says, please release some mixing plugins. We'll see what happens, man. We'll see what the guys have in store. Reverb's delays may be a cool compressor plugin. He continues. Honestly, man, like I think I mentioned it earlier. Like reverbs and delays, all you got to do is just disengage what you don't want in the plugin. You can just literally pull up one of your plugins and say, "Oops, let's go back to my face scene." Well, you could, like I said, so you can definitely like pull up one of your plugins, disengage what you don't want, and then just use that. That's what I've been doing, because I've been using the Neural DSP plugins for a lot more than just guitar and bass stuff. Modern Vintage says, to the Neural DSP guys, I'm sure that they'll watch this at some point. For the guys in Finland, your reverbs are unreal and second only to my Briscotti M7, which is the $4,000 rack reverb unit. Dude, yes. No, I appreciate that. I don't know they will as well. I honestly I've been using just the Neural DSP reverbs and delays myself. Lear asks, I'm using Cubase 9.5. Is there a DAW you would recommend for using all of the Neural DSP programs? Or do you have a favorite DAW? Do you have a particular DAW in mind when creating new plugins? Okay. I've been using Pro Tools now for about a year, 2 years. No, I think it's about 2 years now. Yeah, about 2 years now. I would say that Pro Tools is good if you're going to be working in the industry. It all depends on what you're going to be using, but I think that the important thing is that every DAW is going to be a little bit different, but mostly they all kind of work similarly to each other. My personal favorite is Cubase. I use Pro Tools because it's just been convenient the last 2 years, because I work with other people who also use Pro Tools. It's nice to be able to just send somebody a session and then just call it good. But I just recently got Cubase 10.5, so I'm going to be working a lot more on that, because Cubase is a little bit more friendly when it comes to production and songwriting. A lot of the big dudes use it. Dave Otero uses it. He just did the Cattle Decapitation. He's done Archspire. He's done a bunch of different bands. So like, I think it's also like, learn your DAW, find out the good things about it. Like, there's not one that won't do the job right. But I think that if you want a recommendation on DAWs that are going to be easy to use the neural DSP programs, Cubase 9.5 should be fine, honestly. Like if you're running 9.5, that should be pretty dead ahead. Tyler Britton, what's up, dude? How's it going, man? Good to see you. Thanks for coming by and hanging out. Happy holidays. Let's see. Okay, so I'll Be Diggin' says that he's using a 2016 MacBook Pro using Logic. It's quite a big session with tons of other plugins as well. But it seems to overload, for example, when another guitar comes in for the chorus. Okay. Probably because you have like dynamic processing going on. Like when the plugin is processing audio, that's when like in Pro Tools, you have like dynamic processing. So if you have like empty clips all over the fucking session, it's gonna start bogging down your CPU because it's if there's a clip and the playhead is rolling over it, it's telling those plugins to be active and use up CPU power. So it kind of depends. Yeah, there's a couple of things that you can do. So yeah, so like dynamic processing is kind of it's kind of frustrating sometimes. Like it's one of the best solutions because it's just going to use the plugins when they're actually processing audio. But check to make sure that that's not an issue. Oh yeah, Connor Lazenby says that Hans Zimmer uses Cubase, which was really cool to find out. I think he uses Cubase and Nuendo. But yeah, no, like watching him use Cubase, because I got the what was it, that masterclass thing that was out a year or two ago. Is I, but yeah, no, it was cool to watch him use Cubase. Considering how talented that dude is, like, it was really interesting to watch his his mind work. Vishwas says, currently running through some of my Earthquaker pedals and a few others to Plini and Nolly. I hope someday I can get to do that completely in the DAW itself to extend and get some more quirky tones. Oh, okay. Okay, having like the Earthquaker pedals in the DAW. Yeah. You know what you could do? If you like, say you wanted to have, like a delay or a reverb, like not on the input but on the output, you could record your guitar track, commit that guitar tone, and then reamp, basically like run the signal back out to your physical pedals, and then run that back to your input. That could be a good way to use your additional physical units. Leader, not a problem, man. Not a problem anytime. Yeah, okay, so Modervids, you bring up a great point. He asks, when is the next stream? I'm actually gonna be taking next week off. It's Christmas. I'll be with my family. So yeah, so no stream to next week. But I will be streaming the following week, which is New Year's Day. So I don't expect a whole lot of people to be hanging out because I'm sure some people are going to want to be just sitting, they want to sit in bed. It's their day off, so if you guys show up, it'd be great to hang. If not, then it's all good. But yeah, you'll see a video this upcoming Friday. No stream next week, video next week. But I'll be here for another stream January 1st. So yeah. Okay, so Vishwas says, I'm running the plugin on Reaper, and whenever I hit the playback, there's a blip, and I have to resort to volume automation attainment. Happens only with Plini plugin. Okay, Vishwas, you may want to talk to support about that. I'm not 100% sure, but yeah, check in with support on that, because I'm not sure if that might be a bug. But yeah, email support@neuraldsp.com. Let them know your problem. They'll do their best to sort you out. So cool. So it's 1:58 where I'm at. Modern Vintage and Carol are going to be there. Awesome. It's good. That'll be good to hang out with you guys January 1st. Yeah, so it's almost 2 o'clock, so let's go ahead and put in for the final cues. If you guys have any questions, let me know. Again, if you guys have any suggestions on things that you're having issues with, or things that you maybe want me to, things that you might want me to explain in greater detail as far as like, setup is concerned, like, Lear was having issues with like the inputs and stuff like that. Yeah, if you have issues with that, let me know. Vishwas, it's my pleasure, man. Anytime. Glad you're asking the questions. Glad you're here. Lear, his last question for the night. I'm looking to get great reference headphones for Christmas. Thanks, girlfriend. But he's stuck between the Sennheiser HD650 and the HD660S. Huh. I'll be honest, man. I do not know. I don't really know either of those headphones. And I'll be honest, like I rarely ever use headphones. I don't know if you guys might have seen it on one of the podcasts or something like that, but I have these things, these little Beat Solo, and these have worked all right. I know that either of those two, the HD650 or the 660, are going to be really excellent. What I would suggest, here's the thing. Okay, so you could probably go with either. But what I would suggest is getting oh my gosh, my brain just shut down. If you get that, go ahead and get SonarWorks. That's the name of the company. Yeah. Like regardless of the headphones that you get, go to SonarWorks, go to their website and see which headphones they have profiles with, because each set of headphones is going to have a different EQ curve, and they'll have a correction for it, so that way you get a more flat response in your headphones. Like I use system-wide with these pieces of shit, and they're fantastic. Like it's actually like pretty stark contrast. So yeah, look into SonarWorks. Yeah, awesome. You're gonna do that. Great. Jason Chambers asks, any word on the Mac Pro and if Neural DSP runs well on a 28 core? I'm pretty sure that'll be just fine. I'm pretty sure. Are you talking about the cheese grater? I'm so like not up on things happening right now. Connor asks, will you be at NAMM? I will be there. And I'll definitely be announcing when I'm going to be at the booth, when to come by and hang out. Yeah. I'll be there. Come by, say hi, have fun. Modern Vintage, dude, you're doing everything right, better than anyone else. Learning so much from you along the way. Really thankful for everything you do and hope you have a great week. Same to you, man. Same to you. I really enjoy what I do. Like, there's nothing, I don't know. Like, I feel like I have one of the best jobs in the world. I get to make music. I get to talk to you guys. I get to talk to other like musicians and producers in the industry. And I get to make like good, helpful, educational content along the way to help you guys do what you guys want to do as well. Like it's the best thing in the world. And I love that you guys are so supportive and helpful, and so many of you have been coming back week after week to hang out with me on these streams. I really appreciate it. It means the world to me. So yeah. Awesome. Fantastic. Looks like that is about it. So, yeah. Thank you all so much for hanging out on this Q&A. We'll go ahead and wrap that up and call it a week. And I'll see you guys, not next week, but I'll see you guys on January 1st for New Year's. And be sure to look out for the video this Friday. I'm really, really excited for it. So, yeah, y'all have a fantastic week.